Hey there everyone, this is Vedant and you're watching The Modern Architect. In the last video, we went ahead in Lumion and looked at the welcome screen and the benchmarking process. If you haven't already seen it, I suggest you to do so. I will link it in the description and as well as on the cards. In this video, we're going to dig deeper in Lumion and learn how to import 3D models into our scene. We're also going to take a look at navigation and understand the movement controls. So here we are inside of our Lumion environment back at the welcome screen. To create a new scene from here, all we have to do is choose one of these presets provided to us. I like to work in the plane preset for most of my work, and that's what I'm going to choose for now. So let's just go ahead and single click on the plane preset here. Once inside the plane preset, you can straight away see that we are in a sort of open field like environment. This is what is called a scene inside of Lumion. This is essentially where we will spend most of our time to create and populate the scene that we wish to render. Before we take a look at the general UI of the scene, I want to import a 3D model first. That way we will have a nice frame of reference while looking at things like the navigation control. So without touching anything else first, we will come here right down to the bottom left corner. This is where our Objects tab is, and we will focus here on this import button. This is what we are going to use to import our model. Lumion is designed to work well with any of the 3D file formats like SketchUp, 3ds Max, FBX and even Collada. So you can use any of these to import your models into Lumion. Right now I'm going to use a SketchUp file. Now to import a model here, let's go ahead and click on the Imports button. And to bring in a new model, we will again click on this Import New Model button, which is in green here. We now get a browser window wherein we can search for our model that we want to bring in. Once selected, let's just give it a name so that Lumion can recognize it for future use. I'm going to call it the treehouse and hit the OK button to add this to the library. Once we have imported a model, we get this box-like container which is enclosing it. We can drag it around and place it as per our liking. This downward jumping arrow is actually the origin point of that model, and I'm going to place it right here. Now as you can see, our model is now a part of this scene. And I have used this model before in a previous video. If you haven't seen that, I'll link it in the description. So this is the scene that we are going to be developing in this tutorial series to make this look like this. Once the model is imported, we might want to move it around a bit or change the orientation to match the side better. And we can do that using these four tools right here. The first one here is the Move tool, next is Size Object, then Change Height button, and the last is Rotate Heading. Now to use one of these tools, we do need to activate the category of the object that we intend to move. So if we want to move or rotate this model here, we will first make sure that we indeed have the import button selected, and then we can come over to these tools and make the desired changes. We will click on the Move tool here and we can see that we get this white ball-like cursor at the origin point of the model, which we can then drag around to move the model. Similarly, we can also use the Size Object tool to change the scale of our model. Simply hold the white ball cursor with the left mouse button pressed down and drag up to increase the size or down to make it smaller. I'll hit the Undo button here on the side to go back to the original scale. Now sometimes when we import our models, we might have a strange situation wherein portions of our model are sunk down into the ground. In moments like these, we can use the Change Height button to bring it slightly upwards. But we need to be careful. If we overdo it, it might feel like our model is floating midair. The one which is probably the most important to understand is this Rotate Heading tool. With this, we can change the orientation of our model to accurately match that on site. The way we do that is simply hold the left mouse button on the white ball like cursor and drag to rotate in the desired direction. We do get these axes of north, south, east and west, which can be used to properly align the model. Just remember that the white arrow always pertains to the front of the model. Once we have the model imported, let's look at how we can navigate this scene. Now, navigation inside Lumion essentially means that we are moving our camera around to change the view. The way we do that is simply by using the WASD keys on our keyboard. Press down on the W key to move forward into the scene and press the S key to go backwards. Similarly, you can use the A key to go left and D to go right. You can also do it using the cursor keys on the keyboard. Now, if we look closely, we can make out that the camera is actually moving according to this focus point here on the center of the screen. Meaning I can just point this to any direction and then use the WASD keys to move towards that point. To orbit the scene, press down on the right mouse button and drag the focus point around. And the way we pan inside Lumion is by pressing down the scroll wheel on your mouse and simultaneously dragging. By the way, we do need a 3-button mouse to work comfortably in Lumion, so if you don't have one or if your scroll wheel doesn't work for some reason, you might want to change that. Now, in order to change the height of the camera, we can use the Q and the E keys. Q to go up and E to go down. Navigating large scenes in Lumion may get tiresome, so we can use a combination of WASD keys with the Shift key to move faster in the intended direction. But if you want to move slower, you can use the same combination of WASD keys, but this time with the spacebar key. Well folks, that's it for this tutorial. I hope it was easy enough to follow. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Also, if you have any thoughts regarding the quality of my videos, I'd be glad to hear them. If you found this video helpful, do hit that like button as it helps me a lot and makes you awesome for doing it. Don't forget to subscribe. It's been nice, and I'll see you next time.